Hey gang, getting to my weekly planning session, and before I get my own quiet time in planning for the businesses, I'd just like to share a question that I've got, and it's a really good question. I received this recently, and I believe that a lot of people are having the same problem. So I thought I'd do a video. And so this is from Naveed, all the way from Pakistan. And so Naveed, I hope that you're watching this video. Of course, this is really for you, but just about everybody else that has the same problem. So this is Naveed's question. Hey Maresa, I'm running a private school in Pakistan, and I am facing problems with retaining my staff, especially teachers, due to low pay. Will you please help me in this matter, and which strategy should we adopt? Now this is a really good question, and so I want to be able to share some ways around this, and of course you can see how it works for you. First and foremost, we must address the fact that there are two forms of human motivation. Two forms, i.e. there's the extrinsic form of motivation, and then there's the intrinsic form of motivation. The extrinsic form of motivation are human beings' needs to, of course, meet their monetary requirements. So of course, what is their salary, commissions, how do they make more money? So that's a very extrinsic part where a lot of human beings, employees, would measure their self-worth through how much money they are making. And then there is also the intrinsic part. If you're looking at the intrinsic values, of course, it's more internal. It's like my own growth, my career path. Does my employer challenge me? And so it's a more intrinsic and more internal need to prove myself, to grow, to be able to do more, to learn more. So then there's extrinsic and intrinsic. So what does this really have to do with a Naveed situation here is because first and foremost, if your teachers are getting are leaving because they think that they are getting low pay and it's very difficult to stay, first you've got to make sure that the extrinsic needs are taken care of. For instance, we've got to create a formula between how well the teachers do, their performance, and of course how much money they make. Now that's very, very important. So if you were to look at, for instance, teachers, how they get paid, sometimes they just get paid a basic fixed salary, and so that doesn't motivate them. But if they have more students in the class, they have better retention, feedback from parents or students are a lot better, then what you might find is that you might want to be able to remunerate these teachers more because they are generating more performance. And if they successfully generate, say, more referrals, the students are happy, parents are referring other kids into that teacher's class, then you might be able to pay more because it does tie to the bottom line of the business. So you see, the thing about retaining our employees as well is about looking at how we can tie in business performance to how much they do, and that's having a good set of KPIs. So I hope that really helps you as well. See, the challenge here is that a lot of businesses don't really have that. A lot of businesses don't have the measuring tools to how well the business is doing, and all they have is really a P&L. So you have a P&L, you've got revenues and profits, but you've got to dissect it further so that you even know. You've got data on how well teachers are doing, how long do the students last, what are the students saying, feedback forms, survey forms, and sometimes you've got to create those listening aids. Those are not readily available, but you want to be able to create that so that you can measure the effectiveness of each person, employees, not just teachers, in your business, and that can help you to be able to again remunerate and tie that back to how much you pay them. So that's a very good way. Now that being said, we always love paying our employees more money. Now that's a fact, but more importantly is that our employees are bringing a whole lot more value to the organization and helping the organization grow. So that's really, really crucial. Now, that's from the extrinsic standpoint, monetary, but intrinsic standpoint is also important. Retention is always from both ends because human beings, employees, people are generally motivated from two ends, all right? Now, I've talked about extrinsic, so what about intrinsic? The intrinsic part of making your employees feel good, feel recognized for their work, they are being appreciated for what they do, are people noticing, are they being recognized among their peers for doing great work? And it's sometimes about setting up some awards, setting up some awards where you can recognize the best team player, the best performer, the best salesperson, the best teacher, the best retention, the best class. And then that creates a little bit of healthy competition as well. So that's a more intrinsic part, but it's also about making people feel good in their work environment as well. But that being said, I have one final point. You see, if a human being is not making enough money and their extrinsic needs are not met, no matter how many intrinsic motivations you try and put in place for your employees, it's not going to make any sense. So what is important as employers is that we've got to set up the extrinsic need, the extrinsic formula. Like in any case, you've got to tell your employees and they've got to know, how is it that they make more money? How are they being evaluated? What are my KPIs? And when we can show them that, then we can start putting in place intrinsic. Because don't forget, if any of you are familiar with the Maslow Hierarchy, which is the Maslow pyramid, and the priority of human motivation, it always begins at the bottom with food, shelter, clothing. Those needs must be met first, and there's no way I'm going to try and actualize the top part of the Maslow hierarchy if I am not making enough money, I don't have enough to put food on the table. Then any form of intrinsic motivation where you try to help me grow my career, grow myself, teach me to learn more, but I'm still hungry, I'm still broke. So we've got to put the extrinsic matters up front. The formula must make sense. We've got to be able to tell employees how they're being evaluated so that they can make more money. And then then the intrinsic motivations do make a whole lot more sense. So I hope this really helps you, Naveed. And all the best with your school. I really hope that this, of course, is a bit of a detailed explanation, of course, and what you can do. I hope I've understood your question correctly, but otherwise just do come back to us. I love to see you comment at the bottom, and then we can help you more. But otherwise, the rest of you who are also watching this video and probably getting a ton of solutions and different tips and advice, and if you want me to handle your question, I'll do my best, but please go to my Facebook page and pop me a message, a question, or email me at talktome@maresaeng.com. I'd be very, very happy to help you out in the best ways that I can.